In this section, we will learn about some of the basic commands in Linux, specifically related to navigation and creating new files and directories. We will do this by completing a simple task using the Linux shell. Our goal is to create a directory structure. The topmost directory, which is /home/Michael, is already created, as it is the home directory, but everything else underneath has to be created. First, we have to create 4 new directories under /home/Michael. These directory names represent the continents: Asia, Europe, Africa, and America. Under each continent, there is at least one country, and under some countries, there is a city. Each item in this diagram represents a directory. Let's start from the beginning. Once we log into the shell as the user called Michael, we would be in the home directory by default, which is /home/Michael. To validate that you are in fact in the home directory, run the pwd, or the present working directory command. This should print the present directory you are on. If you have just opened the terminal, the directory should be /home/ followed by the username, which in this case is Michael. To see the contents of this directory, run the ls command. If nothing is printed, it means the home directory is empty. Our next task is to create the directories representing the continents in the current directory. To do this, we will make use of the mkdir, or make directory command. With this command, we will provide arguments for the continent, either one at a time or all together. Once the directories are created, we can run an ls command again to verify that they have been created. Next, let us create the countries. One way to do this is to change directory from the home directory to one of the directories representing a continent, such as Asia, and then create the directory. Running the pwd command again will show us that the current working directory has changed from the home directory to /home/Michael/Asia. Next, we can create the directory called China and India using the mkdir command that we used before. Once this is done, we can either choose to create the rest of the countries in other continents or create the city inside the country directory, wherever it is applicable. From the diagram, we know that India has a city directory called Mumbai. We can do this by changing directory to India and then running the mkdir command, or use another way to do this. This can also be done by running the mkdir command with the argument India/Mumbai. This command effectively creates the directory called Mumbai without having to go inside the directory called India. If you wanted to create the directory called Mumbai without having to create the directory called India first, you can run the mkdir with the -p option, followed by India/Mumbai. This command option allows the creation of parent directories, and hence creates both the directory called India and then the directory called Mumbai under it. Now let's see how to go up a directory to /home/Michael from the directory we are in, which is called Asia. To do this, we can run the cd command followed by 2 dots, or you can run the cd command without arguments, which will automatically change the directory to the home directory from any location in the system. You can also run cd followed by the complete path of the directory, which is /home/Michael. We can now create the rest of the directories using the same steps as before. Bob follows this example task in his own laptop and is able to create the directory structure in his home directory, which is /home/Bob. He clicks on the next topic, Now that you are familiar with navigating through directories in Linux and commands such as pwd and cd, it is a good time to talk about absolute path and relative path. Consider an example where the user is in the home directory at the path /home/Michael and wanted to go to the directory called Asia. He could do it two ways. The first way is to specify the complete path to the directory all the way from the root directory, which would be /home/Michael/Asia. This is an example of an absolute path in Linux. The absolute path is the location of a file or directory starting from the root directory. The root directory is denoted by a /. This directory is the topmost directory in Linux, and all other directories, such as home, reside beneath it. In the example here, the absolute path is /home/Michael. The relative path is the path in relation to the present working directory. An example of a relative path is when we move from the home directory, /home/Michael, to the directory called Asia by just running cd Asia instead of specifying the entire path starting from the root directory. An alternative to the cd, or change directory, is the pushd command. This command remembers the current working directory before changing to the directory specified in the command argument. In this example, we are changing to the directory /etc from the home directory. The home directory is saved to the top of the directory stack. Once this is done, the user may change directories as many times as he wishes in the terminal. To return back to the original directory, which in this case is the home directory, use the popd command. You can push multiple such directories down and then pop back when required. When you run popd, the last pushed directory comes out first. I will definitely have to try that out. Bob thinks and navigates to the next section. Now let us look at some more basic commands in Linux. To learn these commands, we will make use of the same directory structure as before. However, now there are some new files and directories added, as shown in the diagram. The goal of this task is to make sure that the directory structure looks like the diagram on the right in the end. If you look at the diagram on the left, you will notice a couple of mistakes. The directory called Morocco has been created in Europe instead of Africa. This has to be corrected. There is another correction to be made. The city called Mumbai has a typo that needs to be fixed. There is a file called city.txt under the Mumbai directory. The exact same file has to be copied to the Cairo directory. We also want to remove the file called tottenham.txt from the directory called London. Just like before, let's do this task one step at a time. First, let's move the directory called Morocco from Europe to Africa. To do this, we will make use of the mv command. This command requires two arguments. The first argument is the source file or directory, and the second argument is the destination directory, where we want it to be moved. Using absolute path, this can be done easily using the command mv/home/Michael/Europe/Morocco, followed by the second argument, which is the destination directory, /home/Michael/Africa. This will move the directory from Europe to Africa. Or you can also use the relative path to achieve this. But before you do, please be aware of your present working directory. If you are currently in the user Michael's home directory, then you can exclude /home/Michael from the source and destination paths. Going forward, we will simply use relative path for all commands, assuming we are in the user Michael's home directory. Moving along, Let's now fix the typo in the name of the directory called Mumbai. We can do this by running the same mv command as before. Use mv as shown here. The first argument is the directory which has to be renamed, and the second argument is the relative path to the correct directory name. Once this is run, the directory will be renamed. On to the next task of this sample exercise. We need to copy the city.txt file located under the directory called Mumbai to the directory called Cairo. To do this, we will make use of the cp command. Similar to mv, this command also expects two arguments. The first argument is the source file or directory, and the second argument is the destination. This will copy the file from the Mumbai directory to the destination, which is the Cairo directory. Finally, to delete the file called tottenham.txt from the directory called London, we will use the rm command, followed by the file name. Before we move on, make a note that to copy or delete a directory using cp or rm, you would have to make use of the -r option. This option stands for recursive operation. Time to learn some more commands through another task. This time, we will see how to create a file and add data to it. Let's first see how to read the contents of the file city.txt in the Mumbai directory. The simplest way to do this is by using the cat command. Run the cat or concatenate command with the file name as the argument, and the contents, if any, will be printed on the screen. In this case, the city.txt file has a single word Mumbai in it. You can also add data to the file using cat. Since it's a copy, the city.txt file under the Cairo directory also contains the single word Mumbai in it. To replace this data, use the cat command and the redirection symbol, which is the forward arrow symbol, followed by the file name. Once this command is issued, the prompt will wait for a user input. You would be able to add lines of text. Use the Enter key to type into a new line of text and key in Ctrl+D to exit out of this prompt and save data to the file. Finally, what if you want to create an empty file called country.txt under the directory called China? One very simple way to do this is to make use of the touch command. Use the command called touch and argument /home/michael/asia/china/country.txt. This will create a new empty file called country.txt under the China directory. There are other ways to redirect data into a file. We will cover these in Chapter 2 of the Quick Start Guide. You can also see the data in a file using pagers, such as the more and the less command. With the more command, you can view text files in a scrollable manner. You can scroll back one or more screens at a time, and can also search for a pattern of text within the file. To scroll down one screen full of data, use the spacebar. To scroll one line, use Enter. Use the letter B to scroll back one screen at a time, and the / to search for a pattern. Use the Q key to exit out. More loads the entire file at once and is not the best choice when dealing with large files. Similar to more, the less command allows you to view the contents of a file and navigate through the file. Besides the options here, there are several powerful text editors out there that are commonly used for reading, writing, and manipulating data in a file. We have a separate section dedicated to this later in this guide. We saw earlier that the ls, or list storage command, is useful to list the contents of a directory in the Linux file system. That is one basic usage of the command. To get more details, use the long list, which is ls followed by a -l. This command provides more details about the files and directories, such as the access modes, ownership, the last accessed time, etc. Don't worry if these terms are new to you. They will be covered later. In Linux, a hidden file or directory can be viewed by using the ls-a command. The hidden files and directories are preceded by a single dot or a full stop. When you run an ls-a, you will notice two files represented by a dot and double dots. The single dot refers to the current working directory, and the double dot refers to the directory in the file system, which is above or before the current directory. We saw this briefly when working with cd command. cd ... takes you to the previous directory, while cd ... does not change the directory, as it refers to the current working directory. Finally, if you want to list all the files based on the order they were modified, you can use ls-lt. To do the reverse and print files from oldest to newest, use the ls-ltr command.